Alright, so today I was actually messaged by someone on Discord about something about AutoCraft related, because obviously I've done quite a bit of AutoCrafting in my history of being on YouTube. So yeah, they asked me about something on Discord, and they asked me about if they could craft 130,000 shovels per hour for their use case. And well, I said technically yes, but it'll probably be quite laggy. Um, but it's something I am willing to actually, try and see how it goes. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to start on a AutoCrafter for their use. Basically, what we have here is the start of a one-wide tileable AutoCrafter. Now, this is just my kind of personal challenge to make it sort of, one-wide tileable. That way you can basically stack it infinitely to whatever rates they need to do. It'll be pretty weird to get some items into it, but it'll definitely be possible. But yeah, so for those of you that don't know, AutoCrafting is basically adding hopper and or dropper support for the craft table, kind of like how furnaces do. But one thing we'll have to take into consideration is locking the hopper underneath here. So what we'll have to do actually is a bit of a weird one. So the sequence for this particular shovel here, and works with all shovels in theory, but they need iron because they have an iron farm. So I'm going to use that for the test anyway. So we have iron needs to go in the first slot. Then we need 2 dummy items. Stick. Actually, the stick is not good there. First, then we go over like this. Then we need another stick. Then we need to take out these 4 dummy items, and then we get our shovel. So we have 5 items to take out, which is 40 game ticks with the regular hopper. So we are going to use a regular hopper just for the sake of not needing a hopper minecart for lag purposes. And also the hopper minecart make it a little bit more difficult to wire as well. So we need 3 droppers here, and we can't just use 1, which we could do with 1 observer like that and still be one-wide tileable. But yeah, so basically what I did do there is we got to get the starting sequence first. So obviously the first item we need is the iron, which I'm going to use this right dropper over here for that. So basically what we need to do is we'll just QC power this like this. That way we can have this appear if we need to. If I do decide to change it, we'll have to change it over to a composter with a comparator, which will then come from the bottom up like this instead. It is possible to do this. This is probably my preferred method to do it. But we'll see how the wiring works, because obviously we only need 1 signal to go from here. We could basically use all of this space over here for the unlocking part, which is possible. So I'm going to try to use it up top first with the redstone block. That way you don't need to have to worry about bringing over stuff to fill composters up. And obviously using a repeater instead of a comparator. A little bit cheaper, but we shall see how it goes. So yeah, I'm going to basically do a time lapse of designing this crafter here. That way you can see the whole process. And then once we get it all done, then I'll show it off and how it works and how to actually tile it for Whitestone Jazz to actually use and get everything in there. So basically, only enough to refill is the sticks and the iron ingots, of course. What's important with this is we'll cycle the dummy items back in a loop like that. So as the filters are underneath here, the filters will be kind of weird to do because we are using a non-stackable item, which is like the shovel. So we'll have to keep one in here. You can actually need to lock. There's a bottom one as well, which we'll also have to use the composter for here. So we might as well switch over to the composter, but we shall see. But yeah, so we have to lock that bottom one there. Of course, this did just shoot off the shovel. So let me get another one of those. So I use this similar in my other crafters before, but I did a shulker box crafter then. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the rest of it, that's the dummy item. We're going to take out 4. That way we always know we're guaranteed there's 4 slots for the dummy items. You don't have to do that. That's just my personal preference. So we do that. So the only thing is we can't take out this shovel before we get out all 4 dummy items. That means right here, we cannot pulse this guy to output a shovel until we have all 4 dummy items out of here. Because otherwise the items would then go into the first slot here, which we don't really want. But yeah, so it's going to be a pretty difficult AutoCrafter to do, especially in a 1-wide tileable scenario. But because of White Sun Jazz, I will definitely get this done for them, and we'll see what we come up with, and we'll jump to a time lapse right here. Alright, so we have the first little sequence here for the crafter. Now, yes, it is quite on the large scale, but for this particular crafter, I think 1-wide tileable is going to be pretty difficult. Now, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to see Command Leo probably is going to post one, and it'll be half the size of this one. I haven't done one of these in over a year, personally. Like, it's like an actual AutoCrafter like this. And having to deal with 4 dummy items is a little bit of a pain to do. But we will get there. It will be a functional AutoCrafter, and it'll be pretty decently fast. So we have the main sequence first of getting all the items into the actual crafter. And it's actually not the worst. So 16, so that's just the first input is about 18 to 20 ticks. So about a second for the first items, and then we got to cycle it again. So about, I want to say it's around 20 ticks or so to get the full items into it, which isn't bad. The slow down is getting all the items out. So these 4 items alone are going to take 32 game ticks, which is just under a second. And then getting the shovel out is another 8 game ticks. So in total, it's around about 2 seconds just to get all of the items out of the crafting table, which is pretty slow. But if we can get it all done within 3 seconds, that's pretty decent. So if you do 60 game ticks divided by the amount of game ticks per hour, it's actually pretty decent. So we get 1 every 3 seconds, so it means we get 20 a minute, which then means we get about 1,200 shovels per hour, which isn't bad. Wouldn't be a bad amount. Obviously, you need a lot of crafters to do, what White Sun Jazz is trying to get at 130,000, but it's not that many. By not that many, it's around 100 and a bit, so it's a pretty good amount of these crafters, but they said it wasn't, planned to be the most practical thing, but sort of like a meme, just, what if? So the sequence itself is pretty decent. Leo's probably going to compact this down to probably half the size at this point when I see them again. So I'll post this video and I'll probably get a message from Leo saying, I'm in another crafter that's half the size of this. So I'm not going for the most compact thing here. It's going to be pretty difficult to do that, but for Leo, it's a walk in the park. This is pretty much what I'm going to go for the top part here. So we have all the items going into the crafter now. So all we need to do is figure out a time-in circuit to unlock this guy right here for 40 game ticks, and then relock it. And this one, all we need to do is pulse really quick, which we can do making use of this piston here. So if you didn't know, observer that observes a piston being quick powered actually gives us a 2 pulse output. So it's a very compact way to get 2 pulses out of it, which is what we're using here. So we're using 2 pulses to get 2 pulses on the side here to input 2 of the dummy items, but only input 1 stick by observing the face of the piston here that is going up. So it's a really useful thing that we can basically get 2 for 1 in a sense from each side of the piston, which is really useful in our case right here. We do need this repeater up here for a bit of delay, so that account for this dropper actually firing twice before we can then input the stick above. And of course it needs to cycle twice, which is what this little extra 2-tick repeater down here is. Also the opposite is a observer will only power once with a 2-tick repeater. So it adds, 4 game ticks of delay compared to another observer in that same location. You will see, if you have a good eye, that this piston up here will fire actually a little bit later, a little bit earlier on this side compared to the 2-tick repeater. Which it doesn't really help too much, but you can see that this one fires faster. That's all thanks to the repeater down here, which gives us enough time, but only still gives us the 1 output, which is what we wanted. Of course, if you put this at 3 ticks, it's going to power twice. So 2 ticks is a nice way to add, for an extra 2 game ticks of delay in the same location that observer would do in the same spot. So yeah, got all this done. Now we just need to figure out the wiring on the bottom here. And then we'll also go into output it in item form here, which is what this dropper is going to be. And as long as we keep this dropper in this position right here, if we have to lower it by a block, we need to power it. Otherwise, it'll get QC powered from this comparator right here, which also will help with the dispensing part of it. So yeah, time to get this part up. We'll do a little bit of a time lapse here, and then we'll come back once everything is fully done and functional. Alright, so definitely a lot of time has passed since the last clip, because a good majority of it has sort of been changed. Now, basically everything on the top has stayed the same, but the majority underneath here took quite a bit to actually get, and I'm still not fully happy with it, but it does work, which of course is the main goal. And I'll probably get criticized for all these toggle states, but for Whitestone Jazz, what they said is that it's a meme farm anyway, so crafting 130-some thousand shovels per hour really just adds to the meme factor of it if the crafter is considered a meme too as well. Now, yes, I'm probably going to post this and Leo will probably see it, and then condense it down to probably about half the size if I had to guess, just knowing Leo, and then it'll be probably faster as well. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It works. Waits and Jazz also liked it, so we may see it in their meme projects sometime soon. Yeah, so left side here is your iron input, which is also accessible from the top, as well as the sticks are also accessible from the top here. And they don't get red dummy items because those get recycled within the crafter itself. And yeah, everything else is just output of actual shovels. So let's turn it on here, and we'll see it actually work. So we put in block, 2 temporary blocks, stick, 2 temporary blocks, and then the last stick. Take out the temporary blocks, and then we can take out the shovel. The reason why this whole bottom part is a lot of delay is because we need to wait 8 game ticks per block, which is 4 of them here, plus the 1 for the shovel, so just 40 game ticks or 2 seconds before we are able to relock this hopper and then start the whole sequence over again. That's this whole bottom delay circuit right here. This one sends it over to a quick fire. This one, that would be only let 1 item go through here, which of course is that shovel. And we can't unlock this bottom hopper until all of the dummy items here are out. Otherwise, we could get some dummy items in the first slot, and then the shovel wouldn't be able to go down into the hopper there, which wouldn't make it work, which makes this little circuit down here a bit more complicated than I would like it to be. But it is working, which of course is the main goal. And of course, to even add to the meme factor, this is a 69 game tick cycle. So, you know, nice. But yeah, so it definitely probably could be improved because you need at least minimum of 40 game ticks to get all of the items out. So it probably could be improved a little bit faster, but in a one-wide tileable situation, I think I did pretty well because obviously you can just tile this as many as you need, and you'll get your speed that you'll be looking for. In Whitestone Jazz case, you can just stack probably about 100 or so of these, and then you would be able to have the speed that they would want. It is 1,030 shovels per hour for a single module here. But yeah, the crafter is functional. I will provide a schematic in the AutoCraft Discord if you wanted to do so. Otherwise, you can just wait for Leo's in that same Discord, and they probably will have a smaller one that is probably a little bit better and less toggle state. Like, yeah, the weird part was getting the signal down from here down to right here for the delay circuit, because I didn't want to go out any further than I needed to. So we used the QC power there to power this one, and it's a whole weird circuit. I don't like it, but it was what I could do within the space that I had, so I kind of went with it. So yeah, if you guys like these AutoCraft episodes, make sure, you know, like, subscribe, all sorts of things, and I will see you guys in the next one.